So welcome to the Vulnerability for Men website. If you're here, it's because you have some interest in vulnerability for men. And I found since I have started this initiative that when I mention vulnerability for men in almost any setting, I get two responses, sometimes at the same time. And the first is kind of like, what? You know, what are you talking about? What does this have to do with me? And then the second is a little bit different with kind of a tilt of the head. It's like, wow, I wonder what this means for me. Because almost all of us, if we've come to this point in our lives where we're interested enough to take ourselves on a bit and to try to be more connected to life, usually it's one of three things that has happened. One of them is that people tell you, hey, you know, you're not available. You're not connected. I don't feel you're here. We can hear this in many different ways and many different people. The second reason might be not that a person told you that you need to be more vulnerable, but life has told you need to be more vulnerable. Your relationships aren't working. You find yourself kind of stepping on the same landmines over and over again, and you're wondering, you know, after you're done blaming the other person, you start realizing, wow, maybe this has something to do with myself. And the third reason could be your self. Your inner self is telling you that, because as a friend of mine says, you just don't taste the experience of your own life. And so regardless of what it is, the fact is you're here, and let's lean into it. Let's lean into it and say, well, what does vulnerability actually have to do with you? And to tell you how I came upon this, it's a short story. I was at my daughter's boarding school, and the weekend theme was vulnerability. And when I heard vulnerability, I nearly jumped out of my chair. I was so excited. I thought, wow, you know, give me that microphone. You think you know about vulnerability? I'll tell you all about it. And what that did for me, what that showed me this was something that was important to me. How did I know that? How did I know this wasn't just one of a million different opportunities? I knew it because I am open to life and I am connected to life. And that openness and the connectivity, that is what vulnerability is. To be more open to what's happening, and to be more open, interestingly enough, requires trust. And I can't give you trust. I can't coax it out of you. What will prove trust, will enable you to come from a place of true trust, is when you're connected, because life will prove that to you. And that is what this website is about. That is what this process is about. It is about opening you up enough that you can start connecting to life in an authentic manner, connecting to people, connected to opportunities. And I can't tell you what you're going to connect to, because I don't know what you love. I don't know what sets your heart aflame. I don't know what it's going to be. But there's something already in your life that has opened you that you're connected to. And as you start to plumb into that, and you start to see other opportunities, and you start to connect with me or other men that are involved in the process, or just other people in your life, men, women, whatever it is, as you start to connect with that, what'll happen is that life will show you its trustworthiness. And when life shows you its trustworthiness, then the process just starts taking off by itself. You trust more, you connect more, the trust there, and then you know what happens? I can tell you what's happened to me. Life becomes a playground. It's just a playground of opportunities. It's a playground of relationships. And I can tell you from my own experience as someone who comes from a lineage that isn't necessarily open but more fearful, that I have a choice every day of my life and almost every minute of my life. Am I going to choose fear? Am I going to armor up? Am I going to go back to the fact I don't trust life and I need to protect myself against it and all that armors me against? Or do I put my attention on the trust that life has proven to me? And then I put my attention there and I open and I connect more. And this is the choice that we all face, and we are going to take each of us, through this process of connecting more, maybe wherever it starts, wherever it goes, but connecting more and focusing on the trustworthiness of life, and just start playing at life. And when that happens, you start getting happy, you start getting easy, you start getting very, very lucky. Things start happening for you. But the place to start is to say yes to yourself, say yes to life, say yes to connection, and I love the opportunity and love this possibility of working with you to make that happen.